Hello everyone, and welcome back to Learn English with us. I'm Amy, and today, we have a fun, story-filled episode for you. We're diving into travel, adventure, and culture with a special focus on English learning tips throughout the journey.
Hey everyone! I'm Emily, and we are so excited for today's episode. We're taking you on a little trip, two actually. We'll be sharing stories from our travels to two very different, but equally amazing places, New York City and Venezuela. And we'll be throwing in English tips as we go, so you'll get language practice and travel inspiration in one.
So, just to introduce ourselves for those who are new here, we're Amy and Emily, an American-British couple who are super passionate about language and culture. We started this podcast as a way to help people learn English through real-life conversations. And who doesn't love travel stories, right?
Right. We love exploring new places, trying local foods, and learning about different cultures. And English is such a useful tool for travel, whether you're in New York City or Venezuela. In this episode, we'll share some of our travel highlights, tips on using English confidently while traveling, and a few fun cultural insights too.
Let's start with New York City. Emily, you remember that first trip we took together, right? I think it was 4 years ago?
Yes. My first time in New York, and I was blown away. There's this energy to New York City that's like nowhere else in the world. Skyscrapers, yellow taxis, street food, it's all iconic. Plus, there are so many English learning opportunities there, just by walking around.
And English in New York has its own special flavor, so to speak. You'll hear everything from American slang to fast-paced conversations. You're constantly picking up little phrases. I remember our first night. We went to a local deli, and I ordered a bagel with the works cream cheese, lox, capers, classic New York.
Right. And New Yorkers are friendly but in a fast way, you know? People just expect you to know what you want. One tip for English learners visiting New York is to be direct and specific when ordering food or asking for directions.
Definitely. And to practice, try saying "can I get," or "I'll have," when ordering. It sounds more natural than "I would like," in a fast-paced environment like New York.
So, while in New York, we did all the classic tourist stuff: Times Square, Central Park, the Statue of Liberty. But one of the best parts was visiting the local markets and food trucks. Amy, do you remember that food truck guy near the Brooklyn Bridge?
Yes. He was so nice, and we ended up chatting with him for a while. And it's another great English tip: don't be afraid to talk to locals. You can ask, "What's your favorite dish here?" Or even just say, "Thank you. That was delicious." It builds confidence.
And one phrase you'll definitely hear in New York is "have a good one." It just means have a good day, and is often used when people say goodbye. It's casual, but really common.
Yes. Little phrases like that help you sound more natural. And if you're in the city, just try saying, "I'm good, thanks." If someone asks how you are, it's a common and relaxed way to respond. Now, switching gears, let's talk about our trip to Venezuela. We went to Venezuela 2 years ago to visit some friends. And let me tell you, it was so different from New York, but equally amazing. Beautiful beaches, lush mountains, warm people.
Absolutely. Venezuela is breathtaking. And because we were staying with locals, we got to learn so much about the culture, the food, and of course, we practiced Spanish too. But there was a lot of English learning happening too.
Yes. For English learners, if you're traveling somewhere where English isn't the main language, you can actually use it as a tool. For instance, in Venezuela, people wanted to practice English with us. So, if you're learning English, try using it with fellow travelers or locals who also know English.
That's a great point. And even though English isn't widely spoken in Venezuela, if you're traveling there, simple English phrases can still help. Phrases like, "Do you speak English?" or "How do I get to?" can really make a difference.
One fun memory was learning about the food. In Venezuela, we tried arepas cornmeal cakes filled with cheese or meat. And honestly, just asking about the food in English sparked a lot of conversations. We'd ask, "What's inside this?" Or "How do you make this?" It was a simple way to get talking.
Yes, and a big takeaway here is, use English to show curiosity. People love to talk about their culture, and when you ask questions, you're not just practicing English, you're making connections.
And another travel tip, when you're in a new place, try learning just a few phrases in the local language too. It's a great way to show respect, and people will appreciate it. Plus, it makes practicing English even easier, as locals often try to meet you halfway.
So, to wrap up, here are a few quick language tips for travelers. 1. Be direct. When ordering or asking questions, keep it short and clear. 2. Practice small talk, simple things like "Thank you" and "That was great" go a long way. 3. Ask for recommendations, "What's good here?" or "Any tips for travelers?" can lead to fun conversations.
And don't stress if you feel nervous. Remember, people appreciate the effort, and even if you make mistakes, you're still learning.
We hope you enjoyed traveling with us today. If you're learning English, try practicing by talking about your own travel experiences. Or if you're planning a trip, start learning some useful phrases now.
And if you're a fan of travel and language learning, leave a like if you enjoyed the episode. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips and stories.
And if you have any questions, you can comment below. We love hearing from you, and hopefully, this was an interesting episode that inspired you.
Thank you for joining us, and keep practicing. You're on your way to truly becoming fluent in English. Until next time.